was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
And that is full time.
Huffed and puffed, but eventually blew the house down.
That's all that matters, Tony. It doesn't matter how you get there sometimes. Yeah. What matters is the fact that you get there.
And I'll reiterate my point. I think the difference is those players who know the system, who know how to make moves and create opportunities and make space, they do it better than those who came on today. So much better.
Yeah, I think the game kind of changed.
I want Sterling to be a success. I want Gabriel Jesus to be a success. But let's be honest, the levels are different.
Well, I mean, I was quite pleased with Sterling. I'm not going to slate Sterling. I was quite pleased with what he offered. But unfortunately, when he's crossed the ball a couple of times, there's been no one there to try to head it in. And then when Southampton scored, it played into our favour because I think they got a little bit above their station. And they thought that they could come and win the game. And once they scored, they opened up. And they allowed us to go and play. Whereas before, I think if they score and then they just literally sit behind the ball, they make it difficult for us, right? And I don't think they carried on trying to play out instead of thumping the ball clear. They got caught, and that led to the Havertz goal. And then they still kept playing, and then they got caught again from Saka. Nice to see Raya and Aaron Ramsdale there embracing at full time, and Martinelli apologising for scoring past him. All the players going up to Aaron Ramsdale.
He's at our time, and he's averaging about 3 goals per game, isn't he?
Who's that?
Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for him, to be honest.
I do. I really do.
But it's admirable. You know, it's admirable that he wants to play. And, you know, he did say in an interview earlier this week that winning a title sitting on the bench wouldn't mean nothing to him. You know, and listen, how many times have you seen a player that's been happy to sit, take the money and do nothing?
Yeah.
And claim the titles and celebrate like they've played every single minute. You know, fair play to him. And I hope that he can avoid the relegation and still be a Premier League player next year. But it's just not looking good for him, unfortunately. But hey-oh, he's not Arsenal anymore, so we move on. Yeah. So I think that Southampton going 1-0 up actually helped us. That gave them the confidence to play, and that's where they come unstuck. So Arsenal now level with Man City on goal difference. And we will go into the international break in third or joint second place. Saka with a big smile on his face. Very good today.
Have we not just jumped above City?
No, I think they've scored more than us, haven't they?
No, but we scored 2 goals more. We scored a goal difference of +2, and they got a goal difference of 1.
Yeah, but it's tied for goal difference on 9 each.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was 9 each last game, which would have meant we'd have been 1 ahead of them this game.
No, they must have been 1 ahead of us because we just pulled it back.
Yeah.
Back in 2 secs, Tone.
No worries. Cranky, do you want the link? So D-Dub says, without a gunman like Gyökeres, the Glock up top, we're going to have many more games like this season, brothers. But in the Prem, we'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, you know, look, Arsenal made a decision in the summer to not pull the trigger on a striker. And that was based, I think, mainly on the fact that we were so free-flowing with goals last year. We scored so many goals and they were coming from everywhere. They made a couple of moves significantly in midfield. They're probably thinking, well, we probably don't need that guy because we've got, Killer Kai up front, who's now scored for the seventh game on the roll. A record only equaled by one Robin van Persie. You can't join today. Okay, no worries. So, D, in the Premiership, after the international break, we have Bournemouth at home. So, once again, it's a game that you look at and you think, we should be confident of getting 3 points in that game.
Yeah, Bournemouth away, Tone.
Oh, Bournemouth away, yeah.
It's important to get 3 points in that because the week after we face Liverpool at home. So City come back from the international break and they face Wolves away and then Southampton at home. So that's a big weekend. 3 points at Bournemouth is a must. That's a cracking finish from Havertz.
Yeah, it is. That's them ones that you hit sweetly and you just know, yeah.
And the moment it leaves your foot, it's off the inside of the post. Yeah, we should get 3 points at Bournemouth away. And not only that, obviously with the international break, that's like 2 weeks away, isn't it? So we should be looking at Odegaard maybe coming back.
Yeah, Timber hasn't been called up, so he gets a nice break.
It gives like Tomiyasu a little bit more free training. Ben White should also hopefully touchwood be back. So pretty soon we should have a fully fit squad to choose from, which will then give us headaches. Was Apollo's in Jamaica anytime?
No, he's in America.
America.
Yeah. Arsenal 2 goals on 25 minutes game done. We can go out and join the football match round ends a little bit late. Victor says, just watching beIN Sport, we should have had a penalty. Kai was held and pushed down by Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, there was also one on Trossard.
Right, so let's get into the stats. As you can see, Arsenal with 60% possession, 59.1 to Southampton's 40.9. 29 shots, 6 on target.
That's terrible.
8 with 2 on target. 13 shots off target and 10 block shots. So as I said, we huffed and puffed a lot. We were in and around the area. 29 shots is a very decent amount of shots in a game. It means we created a lot of opportunity to take the shot. Now, You take 10 of them as being blocked. That's still 19 good shots.
Yeah, it's the 13 off target that's not acceptable.
Mm.
You really want that to be like literally 5 or 6 and get another 7 actually on target.
Yeah. Touches in the box, ridiculously outnumbered. 60 touches in the Southampton box compared to 8 by Southampton in the Arsenal box. Goalkeeper saves is interesting because Raya only made 1, but Ramsdale only made 3 apparently, and that's because we had so many shots that didn't hit the target. We had to test the keeper more. Southampton won the aerial duels 14-9. That was interesting because I saw a lot of aerial duels by Arsenal players. Kai Havertz was probably the one to win the most for Arsenal. 10 fouls by Arsenal, 9 by Southampton. And then 13 corners for Arsenal to 1 for Southampton.
And they nearly scored from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so D's saying that Marino was offside. Yeah, Marino was offside, but he didn't go for the ball. The ball was
Went over his head. Give me a chance for the ratings, bro. I will come back to you. First of all, let me get through these stats. So, most league assists in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. Bukayo Saka, 7, leading clear of Lamine Yamal, Alex Baena, and João Neves. The assist king.
Doesn't them 2 assists today, Tony, put him in the top 50 assisters in the Premier League? And the goal puts him in the top 100, I believe. Did I read that?
Might be right. Wow. Helping me on my stats.
Let's have a look. I'm sure that I read that in something earlier on.
So the other stat there is only 2 players have scored in 7 consecutive games at the Emirates. Robin Van Persie in 2011-2012 and Kai Havertz this year. King Kai equals RVP's record. Well done, Kai Havertz. Is this Kai? No, that's Martinelli. This is Kai. Here we go. 84% pass accuracy, 7 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal, 54 touches, 9.9 kilometers covered. In comparison to, say, don't need that. Saka, 1 goal, 2 assists, 7 shots, 2 on target. This 7 and 2 between them two seems to be common. 15 touches in the opposition box and distance covered 8.6. So Kai a full kilometre more running. Martinelli in his short time. Decent cameo appearance, 1 goal, 1 shot. That's a good ratio. We like that one. 25 touches.
Hopefully he's coming back into some form.
I hope so. I really hope so. Because in form Martinelli is definitely something that will assist this team. You know, in his season prior to last season, he was a goal machine. I think he scored 15 goals in that season. And yeah, it was an amazing season, but for the end when we lost Partey and Saliba. Never assist for Saka yet. D says I've cracked open another cold one. Toughest fixtures Thursday. Sorry, thus far, brothers, and we're right up there. We must be at the top or near it. Yeah, we're third. Second, we're equal second. Just third because of the amount of goals he scored is 1 less than City. But we're both on the same goal difference, which is +9.
Right, so
And here's Bukayo Saka's expanded numbers for the game. And then another milestone. Arsenal become just the second side in Premier League history to win 400 home games in the competition. After Man United, the Saka show brings up a milestone victory. So once again, yeah, great stuff. Great stuff.
I'm just trying to find a list of these, the top 50 Premier League assistants.
Liverpool are top, D. I'll get the table up on screen for you.
Well, here we go. Ooh, so Saka must be at 51, you know. Dwight York's at number 50 with 50 assists.
Okay. So, D, this is for you. Table looks like that, my friend. Liverpool top 7 games, 6-1, 1 defeat. Goal difference of 11, 18 points, followed 1 point behind. That is a nice place to be. No pressure, sitting right in line with Man City, 1 point behind Liverpool. Chelsea and Villa have both got a game in hand. They can both move up to 16, which will put them 1 point behind us tomorrow. They don't play each other, but Fulham on 11. They lost today. Newcastle play 5:30 today. They're on 11. They can go to 14. Tottenham tomorrow. Brentford on 10. Make up the top 9. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting when we obviously play Liverpool in a few weeks' time.
Well, they've got a tough run coming up because they've got Real Madrid, then us. So they've got big games coming up. They're entering their period of tough fixtures like we've had.
Yeah, we had the hardest start of any team in the league. So the fact that we are where we're at, having had those difficult fixtures away at Tottenham, away at Man City, means that, you know, look, we still have to face those teams again, but they have to come to us.
Yeah, which gives us a slight advantage. But I think overall, I mean, them first 3 away games in the Premier League, you know, Villa, Tottenham, and City, you know, that's a hard bunch of fixtures. And considering we've only literally dropped 4 points, you know, that's what we're doing. And not to forget Brighton at home, where we was robbed.
Yeah, so big up to Apollo's in the chat. I missed the whole game today. We'll be watching the stream when I get back to my hotel. I'm currently in Walmart shopping with the wife. Big up to you.
And what you're buying in Walmart? We need to know.
Well, Walmart's like Tesco. Obviously, they own Asda.
Yeah, they're owned by the it's not who owns. Yeah, it's the
Kroenke's wife.
Kroenke's wife. That's it.
Yeah,
and that's it. I knew it was something to do with them.
Yeah. Some match stats for you guys. 59% possession, 29 shots against 8, 6 on target against 2. Expected XG of 2.58 against 0.6. 480 passes completed to 327. Pass accuracy 90%. touches in the opposition box 60 to 8, and distance covered 99.3 kilometers compared to 96.2. All stats that we're happy to see. Yeah, Walmart is in America D.
That's where Apollo currently is. He's taken 101 international D.
Well, I think we started that with Cranky anyway, because Cranky's in New York.
But yeah, them stats. I mean, Arsenal's superior in all areas of the pitch. I think we just dilly-dallied too much, and it took a goal from Southampton to literally kickstart us into life. And then, as I said, I think Southampton played into our hands by they got the confidence to play, and that's what allowed us back into the game. I think had they have sat and just plotted with the 11 men behind the ball like they did, it would have been a bit more difficult for us. Yeah, I think the party experiment at right back, I don't think it works, Tone. What's your thoughts on that? I think we lose too much in midfield when
I don't think he wants to do it, but I think he looked at personnel and just decided, you know what, I need to go with this because I don't have any other option. I think it was just a tad early for Tomiyasu to start him. Could have played Skelly.
Saka had no support. You know, Saka had no support. Could you not have gone with Miles Lewis Skelly on the left?
Yeah, that's what
on the right.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. The only other option would have been Miles Lewis Skelly. Let's do the stats together before I do the ratings. I'll leave that one for you to chop up, Gal.
Yeah, so Arsenal, obviously 3-1 winners today against Southampton. Arsenal's XG was 2.36 versus Southampton's 0. Is that an 8 or a 6? I can't see that. My eyes are shot. Arsenal 29 shots against Southampton's 8. Only 6 on target, which is the thing that actually hits you the most. That's from 29 shots. That is just simply not good enough. Southampton 8 shots, 2 on target. Arsenal 59% possession. Southampton 41%. Overall, Arsenal done more than enough to win the game. It's just a shame that it took us to be stung into life by a shock Southampton opener, which then allowed us to come back into the game because they kept the play open. I think we would have been in trouble had they just sat back behind the ball. But you get what you get. They obviously thought they had a chance to sneak a win, and they allowed us back into the game, and then we took our chances very well. So fair play to the lads. Wasn't a vintage performance by any means, but sometimes when you win, when you're not playing well, that's a sign of a championship ready winning team. The ratings are coming, D. Tony is just doing his now. So give us a second, mate, and we'll have it done. I don't think it's a case of we're not good in front of goal, D. I think what it is that sometimes we don't want to create the opportunity to shoot. I mean, I watched the Palace-Liverpool game, and there's a ball that's rolled across from Gakpo, and the defender's favourite for the ball, but Jota makes the run across the defender to get there first from the blind side. And there was a couple of situations where we don't have that type of player that will do that. And Jota is not a number 9. You know, sometimes it's just about a player taking a chance and creating an opportunity for himself. Unfortunately, we don't have that type of player. Our forwards like Jesus want to do too much on the ball. They don't just want to do the simple things. Yeah, I agree. D, as I said, 29 shots and only 6 on target is simply not good enough. But, you know, 10 block shots in there. So it's 13 efforts off target, which, again, is not ideal. But sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
So we've got a new
Arsenal midfield
name.
is dead. Yeah, so it says Arsenal midfield is dead. Rice need to play as 6. Marino need to react very quickly and fast and play as 8. We still need a ruthless striker. Ball controlling, passing, and the clinical finish is wanting.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could turn around and say, well, haven't Man City got that ruthless killer striker, and they've scored the same amount of goals as us?
Yeah, I mean, our midfield was disrupted today because obviously Partey had to slip in at right back, but obviously maybe Mourinho is not up to starting yet. But when he come on, Mourinho looked good. He won 6, 7, 8 duels. You know, he set Martinelli free. I think our biggest problem at the moment is decision making up front. You know, we saw a couple of times today when Martinelli set free, he doesn't make the right choice. Jesus wants to overplay too much. Trossard could have squared the ball to Martinelli, didn't. Tried the skill, didn't come off. But fortunately enough, the ball then ran to Saka, who slotted home the 3rd goal. So I think it's just decision making. If we get the decision making right, then I don't see any reason why we can't score multiple goals in games. You know, we saw another one, didn't we, Tone? With Trossard and Martinelli 2-on-2. The ball from Trossard to Martinelli wasn't good enough. But then when Martinelli keeps it on, he tries a little prod across goal when really he should be cutting back in and trying to shoot. So it's just a case of making the right decisions at the right time as I see it. I don't think a number 9 is not going to bring you that. You know, you could sign a Gyökeres or whoever. They're not going to bring you the decision-making of other players that are currently at the team.
Yeah. And, you know, Arteta is really in love with Havertz because he does an amazing job on the pitch. He's a two-way player of the highest order. He's got very good IQ. You know, look, he's not your Haaland. You know, Haaland don't do all that work that Kai Havertz does. Yeah? Haaland will stay where he needs to be and score your goals and throw the ball in the back of your head when you're not looking. Yeah? But he ain't doing all the hard work, the graft that Kai Havertz does. I'm more than happy with Kai. Yeah? 7 games at home in a row, he scored. Yeah? He's Arsenal's top scorer in the Premier League right now. Right now. Yeah? A lot of teams would have him. That's the simple, short and tall. If you said to me, would I swap him for Haaland? We have to change our game if we have to have Haaland in the team. So it's all very well saying, well, just bring in Gyökeres or just bring in Sesko, but they're young players, very exciting looking players, but they don't necessarily have the IQ that Havertz clearly has. And they're not necessarily that two-way player in the same way.
I mean, look at that battle, Tony, from Havertz in that dying minutes when he wins one ball edge of the area. He gets buffeted. He then goes into the second challenge. He wins that. Then he's holding off man while the man's pushing him out of play and still manages to keep hold of possession and find an Arsenal player with a pass while he's getting pushed out of play.
Yeah.
You know, other players don't offer you this. There should be no one at Arsenal that is still criticising Kai Havertz.
Absolutely.
You know, he's scoring goals. He's making big defensive plays. You know, he runs tirelessly for the team. He tackles. He wins aerial duels. There should be no one still criticising this guy. The problem doesn't lie with him. The problem lies in the way that Arsenal play. They get too overconfident. They're always looking for the pass when they should be shooting. And it's just a thing that happens when you try to play a certain way. And it's just a decision making. You get that right. You know, we could have had numerous amount of goals in numerous games.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, look at last season. You know, we was poor in the first half of the season. All of a sudden, after Christmas, everything clicked. We're going out there. We're rolling teams 4-0, 5-0, 5-0, 6-0. We're making fans leave 30 minutes into the game. You know, so it's a thing that can't happen in every single game. There'll be periods in games now where we'll go out and we'll blow teams away. And there'll be other periods where we have to work for it. It's that simple.
Cool. So yeah, I agree with you. We need to sell Gabby Jesus. I mean, take whatever money anyone offers you, just take it.
Listen, I'll even drive him wherever he wants to go. It's not a problem.
Yeah, so we don't disagree with you on that one, D. If he's not good enough for City and Zinchenko, then why are they good enough for a team that wants to conquer City? The obvious answer is at the time, what was available, they were the best that was available. Yeah, don't forget, this is not their first year in the team. They've been there 3 seasons at least. When they came, they helped to transform this team. Yeah. So let's not write them off as complete scrubs. Jesus' first season was very successful. He was mesmerizing.
I think also, what you've got to remember is, as they come into the team, they brought a mentality that maybe certain players in our team didn't have. But the team evolves, right? So players, if you're not doing what Arteta wants you to do and not producing what Arteta wants you to produce, he's going to go out and sign a player that will come and take your place. And you're down the road. So the team evolves, people get left behind. We've seen it now with Zinchenko, made too many mistakes at left back. Gone out, Calafiore, Timber. We already had Timber, but obviously he picked up an injury. So Zinchenko can't get in at left back now because we have 2 players that are basically, one's a right back and the other one is a solid left back that are going to get in front of him. So he's third choice.
Yeah.
Is Zinchenko going to play in the left-sided 8? Well, he's got Rice in front of him. He's got Marino in front of him. Trossard is in front of him. So there's options there. So when the player just gets left behind, it's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
Someone is better for the job. That's all it boils down to. Raya, better than Ramsdale for the job. Fans had to accept it. Even those of us that maybe didn't want to accept it, but you see what Raya brings. Like I said from the outgo, can Raya make the saves that Ramsdale was making to keep us in games? And he's proved that he can. So you have to take your hat off and say he's the best guy for the job. That's how it works. Zinchenko is a bum. Can't defend the dog. Gabby Jesus can't hit a barn door.
So it's interesting, D, that you mentioned that we can't dominate in Europe. I don't think we are a million miles away. And the reason I say that is, on paper, there's only 2 teams really that you should be fearing and thinking like they've constructed squads that are better than ours. That's Real Madrid and Man City. Well, we've already seen that we can actually dominate Man City if we can keep 11 players on the pitch and we don't have to play 12 with them having a referee in their pocket. Yeah. And Real Madrid, to all intents and purposes, I've watched all this season. They ain't doing it. But they lost in the week, right, to Lille.
Yeah, I think what the mistake that you make, when you're saying about to win the European Cup or the Champions League, whatever you want to call it, or any cup, you don't have to be the best team in the competition. You need a bit of luck on your side. You need to make it to the final, and then you just got to perform over 90 minutes. And we know that we can go out there and we can defend our box, and we can be very hard to break down, which means we only need to take one chance and keep them out. So you don't have to be the best team to win a competition. To win the league, you have to be the best team over a certain amount of games. Right? To win the Champions League, obviously before the format changed, you had to literally win, 12 games? Something like that. Six in the group stage, 7, 8, about 10 games to win a cup. So we've got as much chance as anyone. It's just a question of, can we keep people fit? Can he get the squad rotation right? And can we take chances when the game is tight? Yeah. And the likes of Martinelli and Jesus, if they're in the team, finish a chance when the game is so tight, you may only get 1 or 2 chances. That's what wins you Champions Leagues.
Cool. Right. Without further delay, let's get into it. My player ratings. So I've given Raya a 7. Didn't do a great deal wrong, if anything. Didn't have much to face, but obviously, got beaten at the far post with that shot. got lucky with that deflection that ended up. It was actually kind of his fault in that he punched it onto the player and it deflected onto the top of the crossbar. So give him a 7. As I said, it wasn't a disaster, but you know, I've seen him do better. Party at right back, as Gary says. I don't think. In fact, Gary, let's do it together. What was your mark for Raya?
So Raya, for me, I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he had a chance with the goal, but he just looks. There was a couple of instances where he just looked shaky, which is unusual for him from a cross coming into the box. And he was very lucky that he didn't make a mistake, which allowed Southampton to equalise at 2-2. So 6 from me.
Cool. Thomas Partey,
I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay. I'm going to give Thomas a 7. I thought the thing that is important for me is Thomas doesn't lose the ball. He's maybe not obviously an ideal right back, but he is a great football. Technically, he's one of the best in our team. And he showed glimpses again of that today, that he's able to get the ball when he's at his feet and find players and progress the ball. Obviously, he did push into midfield at numerous points in the game and become an effective midfielder. And actually, when I compare him to Jorginho, I thought he did way more. And Jorginho was holding that key role for me, which is why I marked Jorginho down and gave Partey the higher mark.
Yeah, for me, Partey at right back, it just doesn't work. I think we lose too much in the middle of the pitch. I know he came in and played inverted, but there was a couple of times where you could see the midfielder's attitude, and when the ball goes over his head, a right back is going to win that ball. But there was a couple of times where the ball just dropped over his head, and we don't want Partey in a foot race. You know, I was having a conversation with Tom in the forum beforehand, and I'm saying about Partey at right back. And the point I'm trying to make is, if we keep Thomas Partey fit and manage his game time, we'll go close to winning the league and we'll go close to winning trophies. So to have Thomas Partey chasing back towards his own goal, a winger or a fullback, is only going to lead to injury. Now, when this guy gets injured, he doesn't miss a week or two. He misses the season. He misses months. So I prefer to see Thomas Partey stay in the middle of the pitch, do his thing. And I just don't think the experiment with him at right back works. So that's why he gets a 6 from me.
Cool. Saliba, as Gary again alluded to in the game, I thought he was responsible for the goal against. Should have closed that Archer down before he took the shot. Just to what's the word I'm looking for?
Lackadaisical.
I don't like to use that one. I just think he was a little bit too casual in his approach to that particular bit of defending. Obviously, he's normally my guaranteed 8 in a game, but on this occasion, I'll give him a 6.5. Gal?
Yeah, so Saliba had a decent game. For me, he was at fault for the goal. The moment the ball was played out to Cameron Archer, Saliba kind of had a nonchalant attitude. I'm Saliba, I'm a Rolls Royce, you can't do this. And he had just allowed Cameron Archer to just literally tuck inside, and he didn't close the space at all and allowed him to pass the ball into the net. Also, for that goal, I think Thomas Partey has to back Saliba up a little bit better because he was the next defender. I think had that been Gabriel, I don't think the goal goes in. So Saliba, for me, at fault. But, you know, he played all right. I'll give him a 6.
Okay. Gabriel, the usual imperious performance from Gabriel, the leader, as Antonio Rudiger says. If you haven't seen that interview with Antonio Rudiger, it's worth catching. He basically describes the two Arsenal players, Saliba and Gabriel, as like the best in the game, saying Gabriel is the physical leader and Saliba just plays clean, which is really exactly what normally happens. But yeah, today, Gabriel, imperious, unlucky not to score one of his trademark corner headers. So I gave him a 7. What about yourself, Gal?
Yeah, I thought Gabriel was just a shade better than Saliba today. Didn't really get beat by much. unlucky not to score, but it was his normal solid self. So I'm happy with his 7 there.
Cool. Calafiori again showed some brilliance today. One particular tackle looked extremely good, but again, he's causing us to look much better, much more balanced on the left-hand side. Obviously, he had Sterling ahead of him. He had Jesus up ahead of him. I think he's much better, going to be much more efficient when he's got Martinelli and Marino in that triangle on the left-hand side. But I thought he was solid. I gave him a 7. What about yourself, Gal?
Yeah, so Calafiore, the commentators comparing him to the great Paolo Maldini, and to be honest, I mean, a couple of the tackles he's put in today, like he's just got no right to win the ball, but not just win the ball, to make the tackle, first of all, to win the ball, second of all, and third and most importantly, stand up with the ball stuck to his foot. There was a couple of them that he done today. It was outrageous, but great going forward. Appeared in centre midfield, appeared over on the right, high on the left, but there was a couple of times he's been done for pace. It happened 2 or 3 times in the game, and he's just pulled a little bit out, and he's left a big hole in behind, and that's something that needs to tighten up, or the centre back needs to be aware of when he's pushing forward to get across the cover. So for me, although it was a good performance from Calafiore, I'm going to give him a 6.5. Because there was a couple of times where he just left that little left side open, a la Zinchenko, which is what we don't want to see.
Yeah, cool. Jorginho now. I just thought he was talking a lot. He was marshalling. He does his, he's not the same guy. He just didn't make the difference for me, I'm looking for difference makers, and he just doesn't do it. I mean, I was kind of going between a 5 and a 6 and thinking, am I being harsh on him if I give him a 5? I wouldn't, if you was to say 5, I wouldn't really think too much of it, because I maybe should have given him a 5.5. But yeah, what's your take on Jorginho today?
Yeah, so I think Jorginho had pretty much a non-existent game. He didn't really make any mistakes. He flashed a shot wide of the post, but I think it's always difficult. I say all the time, and I know you hate the analogy, but when you come in cold and you ain't played, and then you're thrown in to start the game. And it was a difficult game because Southampton sitting in a low block. He made a couple of nice little passes in, but ultimately he didn't really have the effect on the game that we would want from him. So, but he didn't really do anything wrong. So I'm happy with his 6. It was kind of like a non-effective performance, but he didn't really do anything good or bad. So 6 is average, I suppose.
Cool. Declan Rice, I gave him 6.5, only marginally better than Jorginho for me. He's the player that I'm having a real problem with, because I liked him a lot last season, but I got a feeling that the length of the season last year, then going straight to the World Cup, playing all of the World Cup and coming back just hasn't helped him. So I gave him a 6.5. Again, I could have easily dropped that to 5.5. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you totally, Tony. He had a brilliant season. Again, was he overplayed last season? And then to go straight to the Euros and play every minute of every game for England, and then you go and you do your you have a little break, but it's not really a break because you're still doing your little bit of fitness stuff rather than having a complete rest every day you're out doing your fitness, because you know that you're coming back late, and then you come back late, so you haven't had a break, you haven't done a proper pre-season, and I think it's affecting his game. I mean, we saw, was it against PSG? He played really well and had a couple of barnstorming runs. He looks better when he plays in the 6 for us, I think. In the 8, he kind of hasn't really hit the ground running, but I just think that's due to, like we said, playing like the Euros and stuff. So a 6 from me, from Declan Rice today. Didn't really put anything wrong, but didn't, again, like Jorginho, didn't really do anything right.
Yeah, cool. All right, then we move on to Starboy and our captain for today, Bukayo Saka.
Don't forget Sterling.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I went past Sterling. My bad. So yeah, Sterling, a lot of hard work, a lot of on the ball, running at players, but not quite ever delivering anything, not ever really carrying a threat. Obviously, at halftime, we hadn't had a shot on target, right?
Yeah,
you know,
correct.
we had all that possession, 60+% possession. Them man were running rings around Southampton, but creating nothing. And that is what Sterling's here for. You know, you come in, you're off the wing, yeah, with a license to kill. Kill. We all see what happens on the other side. We all see Saka scoring goals, getting assists aplenty, doing it over and over. That is what I'm expecting of the player on the left-hand side. And to his credit, Martinelli in the last 2 games has delivered 2 goals and 2 assists. Sterling, I'm looking for an improved performance. So I gave him a 6.5. Your thoughts, Gal?
Yeah, I thought Sterling was our best player in the first half. I thought he received the ball. I thought he was unlucky not to win a penalty. I thought it was a clear foul on him as he's going through, and the foul is strong enough to knock him off of balance. And I think that was a clear penalty. But he picked up the ball, he cut inside, he created trouble, he went outside, he put in a couple of decent crosses that unfortunately there was no one there to nod into the goal. So I was happy with his performance. Even in the second half, before he was hooked for Martinelli, I thought he looked very good. Willing to take on players inside, outside, which is something that Martinelli kind of struggles to do because he's so indecisive. Sterling is very, very much, I've got the ball, I'm going to do this, and bang, he's done it. So Raheem Sterling, I was happy with his first start. He gets a 7 from me.
Cool. So as I was saying previously, we move on to Saka, our star boy and captain for the day. I gave him man of the match, 8.5. Well, clearly that's going to be impacted because he got 2 assists and a goal in a game in which first half he really did nothing. But I've seen players come on at 60 minutes and win man of the match. And this is what that feels like. It feels like up until we scored the goal, up until we conceded the goal, Arsenal were in second gear. And as soon as we went 1-0 down, guess who turned up? The captain. And said, all right, boys, it's on me. And hell did he make a difference. Because that's what I want my captain to do. Your captain turning the game around the way he did today, I cannot complain. 8.5, I should have given him a 9. But, you know, as I said, half the game he wasn't really in it. Go on, Gal.
Yeah, so Bukayo Saka, he gets my man of the match, 2 assists and a goal. Quite simply, in every team, you have a player which the manager will always allow to play, even if he's having a stinker, because these players can produce one moment of brilliance, which will win the game for the team. We used to see it with Mesut Ozil. Could be out the game for 80 minutes. Man, make one pass, goal. And this is Bukayo Saka. This is what Saka can do. Yes, he was having a stinker. In the first half, he was busy. I thought he played a little bit too slow. There was times when he could have run at Walker-Peters and he allowed the double up to come. He got into some good positions, didn't really deliver, didn't really get a shot away. But in the second half, when we needed someone to step up and make a pass count, Bukayo Saka, first goal, he wins the ball back in press. He then feeds Havertz, who slams the ball into the net. Second goal, cuts inside, beats 2 men, floats it to the far post, allows Martinelli to volley in, and then he's there when the defender slightly overruns the ball, first time effort into the bottom corner to wrap up the game. So he gets a 9 from me, man of the match performance. And sign of a brilliant player is when you're not at your tip-top form, you're still making telling contributions to the team.
100%. 100%. Havertz. Wow, Havertz. I mean, he's unlucky not to be man of the match today because the guy just works so hard for this team. His work ethic is unparalleled. I love him. I absolutely love him. You know, it's hard to see that I would have ever been able to say that after the first few months at Arsenal. But now, I think he's brilliant. So another one who gets an 8.5 for me. Gal?
Yeah, so Kai Havertz obviously brought us back into the game with the equaliser. Another one who was having an okayish game until we needed players to step up to the plate, and he just steps. This guy steps up, and he just hits home run after home run. You know, his work ethic is probably second to none in the team. You know, there was a point where he's won the ball in the air, then he's getting fouled, and he goes and wins the second ball, then he's getting fouled. And he's getting thrown all the way to the touchline with the player climbing over the back of him. And as he's getting pushed out of play, he has the presence of mind just to play the ball back to, I think it was either Calafiore or Marino. And that, to me, I mean, that's just phenomenal. The guy is phenomenal. You know, 7 goals in 7 games at home. But he brings so much more to the team than just goals. And I think he has to be literally one of the first names on the team sheet for Arteta. So he gets a 9 from me, but if it wasn't for Saka, he would have got man of the match.
Yeah. And then Jesus, the enigma that is Gabriel Jesus. I mean, I could have given him a 4. And being honest, I could have given him a 4, could have given him a 3. I just don't see the point of the guy on the pitch right now. And I know what Arteta's trying to get something out of him. He's going, all right, you know what? Today, I'm going to give you some minutes. He says he's a fart in a jar.
I read it, but I was trying not to laugh.
Oh, dear. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I could have given him a 3. I wouldn't say anything was wrong if you said, Tone, I'm giving him a 3. I think I'm just being nice because we won a game and I just feel happy. I can't be happier with my team. You know what I mean? And that must mean all of them because they all in it. But he was easily the weak link today and it's just not doing it at all. Offensively.
It's like he's been tasered. Oh, D, he killed it.
Oh,
okay.
That's funny. D, you are wasted. You are wasted, bro.
You need to come on and do it. You need to come on D and do a stream with us. You need to come on and bring this kind of comedy, man. Oh dear.
Oh.
Are you done with Jesus, Toad?
Oh, I'm done, brother. I'm done. That's
all right. So this for me, the experiment with Jesus was done from time. So far this season, we have seen this guy given minutes against Bolton and do nothing. Bottom of the table, Southampton, and do less than nothing. Whatever is less than nothing is what he produced today. Right? Now, I know that scoring goals is not his strong point. He's even admitted it himself. But the guy had one effort in the whole game. And I think it was actually going in till it hit the defender. It was a tame effort, but I think had it not hit the defender, it go through the defender's legs, it's into the bottom corner. But the guy can't even catch a bit of luck. And I think the team has surpassed him. Even when he wasn't scoring, he was creating chances for others. He was creating pre-assists. He was creating assists. He's not even doing that now. And I don't see how this guy can keep getting starts. He has to be a sub, not even first call sub. He has to be on the bench, and I don't even know what to say. Listen, I thought Eddie got treated really badly by Arteta, right? But I thought Eddie brought more to the team than Jesus did or does now. But Eddie only got like 3 minutes in every game, if sometimes less than that. And I don't, for the life of me, see why why Jesus is starting or why he's coming on first sub, first change. For me, he's gone in January. And you have to bring someone else in to fulfill his role. So Jesus for me today gets a 3. There you go, D. He gets his 3. Trossard is way head and shoulders above this guy on the team sheet, as is Havertz, as is Saka, as is Sterling. So I don't even know what else to say. Yeah, I agree with you, D. I would have sold Jesus over Eddie, and I know that that's the view of a couple of other people as well involved with Arsenal 101, but none of us are the manager, unfortunately. So we're stuck with him for the time being.
Yeah. So I've got no doubt that'll be the next change. I think I think Arteta's definitely got his defence in place now. He's got a wonderful set of selection there. His midfield again also pretty strong, considering we were out. We didn't have Marino, we didn't have Odegaard for a couple of games. We still were winning games. We're still performing well. Going away.
Just quickly, we didn't rate Arteta. You gave him a 7. You gave him a 7. You want to elaborate?
I kind of get a feeling that he's trying to get a tune out of players
in the lesser games.
Yeah.
Or the so-called, should we say the so-called lesser games?
Yeah. But you know what? When things weren't going right, he made the right changes. He knew what he had in the locker. And he brought it out and said, okay, enough of this playing around, enough of huffing puffing. Let's get the boys on that really need to do the business. They came on, instant impact. Boom.
Yeah.
Job done. So for that, I give him a 7.
Yeah, I'm happy with the 7 for Arteta. I think when you've got a squad, you have to use it in the so-called lesser games. I would have liked to seen Partey rested for today and maybe Marino get a start. But he made the changes at the right time. On 60 minutes, he brought 3 subs on and he took off Sterling, Jesus, and who was the other one here? I can't even think.
Was it Jorginho?
And Jorginho, that's it. Yeah, so he made the right subs at the right time. So full credit to him. So, and I like the fact that he gave the fringe players the minutes. Although I don't know why Jesus was part of that, but hey ho, we can't have everything. So I'm happy with his 7.
Cool. All right, guys. That is me done. That's Gary done. I'm not going to go into the subs. Obviously, Martinelli, well played to him. Trossard, well played. Would have loved to have seen Ethan, who I sometimes call Eddie or Nathan or. But hey, we now go into the break. Nicely placed in 3rd.
Joint second.
Yeah. And yeah, onwards and upwards, guys. So everybody, I'm pretty certain if you haven't done so already, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll see you in a few weeks' time. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Gaz, any last words?
Yeah, no, happy with the win today. So we're going to the international break. Hopefully we come back with a nigh on fully fit squad. White, Tomiyasu gets more training. Odegaard is back. So hopefully fully fit squad after that. And we go again against Bournemouth and then Liverpool, top of the table clash. So up the Arsenal.
Let's go. Take care, guys.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.